I want to start this video off by saying this is for people who are obsessed with the meta and play by that rather than just getting characters you love. This is for people who play the gacha solely to get cards to fill their team slots and don't care about characters as long as they have the strongest team. I think any card can work for your team if you put in the work, and this is to help you better understand the card and put it in the right team for both you and that card. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you're already well versed in meta and gameplay, so I'm not going to explain basic gameplay stuff. If you're new and don't know mechanics yet, I have videos on that to fill in some gaps. So we have two banners, Villain Sebek and Kate and Ruggie. Gonna be fully honest, I straight up do not remember which came first. I want to say it was Kate and Ruggie because I vaguely remember bitching about having to wait for Vil, but honestly, it could have been the other way around and I was complaining about Vil another time. If I recall correctly, I think you're able to get one of the SRs from the event shop, but again, I straight up do not remember much from this event. I remember Hagoita and complaining about the gacha, but that's pretty much it. I was too stressed with making my Ms. Hina cosplay for me and making Dancer Linhart for a friend that I just really don't remember anything from Twist during this time, which is why I'm not doing an event guide for this one. I don't remember it and I don't have any notes on it, because I was in cosplay hell. Vil is an attack SR. His max HP is 6,887 and his max attack is 6,231. Vil's HP is massively below average when looking at both just SRs and all cards combined. However, this means his attack is far above those two categories of cards. He has the 12th highest attack for an SR, although he doesn't rank when compared to all cards, but still, he's really strong for an SR. His spell 1 is Aqua Wave and his spell 2 is Lee Shot 2. Vil's only skill is Damage Boost, but he has it twice. On spell 1, he starts off with a tiny boost to allies for 1 turn. At level 5, it's minor. And that's it for spell 1. On spell 2, it shows up on level 5 as a minor boost to caster for 1 turn. Both damage boosts max out at minor boosts. That was a really hard sentence to say. In lieu of a vignette, Vil has 2 furniture items. At vignette level 1, you can make a special New Year's outfit. At vignette level 2, you can get the special frame for your guest room. They don't need event-specific items, so you can make them whenever you want. Vil's buddies are Ace with a minor power boost and Sebek with a minor HP boost and a minor power boost. Sebek is coming through. As per usual, I won't go into too much detail because these are SRs, but some similar SRs to New Year's attire Vil are Gallicator Ace, Apprentice Chef Jamil, and Ceremonial Rose Silver. Sebek is a defense SSR. His max HP is 14,069, and his max attack is 5,129. His HP is way above average for both all cards and just SSRs. He has the 14th highest HP in the game as of now. His power, however, is below average because of his high HP. Although it's right at the all cards average pretty much, so in the long run, it's not like the worst power stat ever. His spell 1 is Zero Ray. His spell 2 is Fire Shot 2 and later Flame Blast 2. His spell 3 is Water Shot 2. Sebbie has Damage Cut and Power Drain as his skills. He has a tiny damage cut for 1 turn on spell 1 at level 1. It upgrades to minor at level 5 and it maxes out at modest at level 10. His Power Drain gets unlocked with spell 3 and it's the exact same deal as his damage cut. It goes from tiny to minor to modest for levels 1 to 5 to 10. His duo magic partner is Vil, who gives him a minor HP boost. His other buddies are Ruggie with a minor HP boost, and Floyd, who gives him a minor HP and power boost. If Sebbie decides to be moody and not come home, the good thing is that there's some really solid alternatives for him. My recommendations are Birthday Jacket Ace, Twisted Sunderland Riddle, Masquerade Sebek, and PE Uniform Rook. Ace might be a balance card and not have power drain, but he's my favorite alternative in this list. He has all the same spells, he has Vil as a duo magic partner, and his damage cut. The damage cut is attached to Ace's spell 3, but still, wonderful alternative option. Riddle is also a great option. He's defense and he has Zero Ray as a spell 1. He has spell... I wrote he has spell 2 as a spell 2. Yeah, no shit he does. He has Water Shot 2 as his spell 2, and Sebek has it as his spell 3. Riddle's skills are Power Boost and Damage Cut, but they're attached to the opposite spells that Sebek's are. Also, Riddle doesn't have a fire spell. If you only want Sebek for a few things and you don't necessarily need them in a certain slot, I think Riddle would be a good option for you. Masquerade Sebek is a fantastic budget option. He's defense, he has Zero Ray, he has Fire Shot 2, and he has Vil as a buddy. The major downsides, though, are that he doesn't share any skills in common with New Year's Sebek, and his other buddy isn't shared, but still, he hits a lot of the same beats and is a super great option if you don't manage to pull New Year's Sebek. And as our rare alt, we have Rook. He's defense, he has Fire Shot 2, he does have Zero Ray, but he starts off with Void Shot, so you're gonna have to get that spell 1 to level 5 so it can upgrade to Zero Ray. He's a good budget option, but unfortunately he doesn't have any buddies or skills in common with Sebek. If spells are your main draw for Sebek, Rook is a great option. In my opinion, Sebbie's main draw is HP padding due to his great HP stat. His skills aren't particularly noteworthy. Since Sebek has zero rate, he's gonna need a bit of building on that spell since it doesn't have an advantage against anything, but still a very solid card, especially if you need HP. Kate is a defense SR. His max HP is 13,115 and his max attack is 3,497. His HP is wild. It's well above average for all cards and just SRs. He's one of the top highest SRs in the game and number 6, although when it comes to all the cards in the game, I wouldn't really rank him because he's out of the top 25 and that's my limit of when I know to character stats and rank them. His spell 1 is Force Strike and his spell 2 is Fire Shot 2. His only skill is Damage Cut, but he does have it on both spells at least. On spell 1, the Damage Cut starts off as tiny and for 1 turn. At level 5, it upgrades to minor. Unfortunately, it maxes out there. On spell 2, it starts off as a minor damage cut for 1 turn and stays that way. It doesn't grow, but at least it's there from the beginning. Like Vil, he doesn't have a vignette, so he has furniture. At vignette level 1, you can unlock his New Year's attire on a mannequin. At level 2, you get a special guest room frame. And also like Vil's, you don't need any event-specific items for these furniture pieces, so you can make them whenever you want. His buddies are Ruggie with a minor HP boost and power boost, and Idia with a minor HP boost. Again, I won't spend too long on him, but some comparable SRs to this Kate are Apprentice Chef Deuce, Ceremonial Robes Ruggie, and Gallicator Jamil. Ruggie is an attack SSR. His max HP is 10,013 and his max attack is 6,956. Ruggie's HP falls very short of the SSR average, but he's on par with the all cards average. Like, they're extremely close. The all cards average right now is 10,001.82156, so Ruggie's only about 12-ish points above. However, because his HP is low-ish, I mean, honestly, 10,000 isn't, like, terrible. Anyway, his power is really high. It's above average for both card categories, and he has the 12th highest attack in the game. His spell 1 is Flame Blast. His spell 2 goes from Water Shot 2 to Aqua Wave 2. His spell 3 is Fire Shot 2. Ruggie has Nullify Freeze, Power Boost, and Power Boost 2. Oh no, I must have missed for it. God. What is wrong with me tonight? Ruggie has Nullify Freeze, Power Boost, and Damage Boost as his skills. On spell 1, he starts off with a Nullifying Freeze for allies for 1 turn. At level 5, he gains a minor Power Boost to cast it for 1 turn. At level 10, that Power Boost goes from minor to modest. On spell 3, he starts off with a minor damage boost to cast it for 1 turn. At level 5, it's modest, and at level 10, it's major. His dual magic partner is Kate, who gives him a minor HP boost. His other buddies are Jack with a minor power and HP boost, and Sebek with a minor HP boost. So because that freeze nullify skill is very rare, it makes it hard to find a budget option. Really, if that's your main draw for Ruggie, you're gonna have to go for an SSR because no SRs or Rs have it. Also, there's no other SSR right now in EN that has that exact spell combo, like in that order, so yeah, a lot of artistic license was taken for the alternatives. Ruggie is a very unique card, but still I think I found some good options. My choices for alternatives are Halloween Silver, Birthday Boy Malleus, Portfest Rook, and Halloween Ordo. Silver is our quote-unquote spell match option, although like I said, no one has the Fire, Water, Fire in that order. Silver has 2 fire spells and 1 water, but his is Fire, Fire, Water. It's close enough. He has Power Boost and Sebek as a buddy, which is nice, but everything else is different. He's balanced, his other skills are different, and he has no other shared buddies. I do love the Silver though, so I would recommend him, but I admit I'm biased. Malleus is attack, he has the same spells 2 and 3 as Ruggie, he has Sebek as a buddy, and he has both Nullifies Freeze and Power Boost. Their stats are also pretty similar. This Malleus is the closest to a dupe you're gonna get, although with spell 1 being different among the other differences, I'm a little hesitant to say that. But on paper, like, yeah, he kind of is. This Malleus would be a great replacement for Ruggie, but you do have to unlock that spell 3 to make him a better match, which sucks. Especially since the Nullify Freeze is attached to spell 3 and not spell 1. So Rook's main draws are Fire Spell 1, Water Shot 2, Jack as a buddy, and Damage Boost. He's defense though, and his other buddy and skills aren't shared with Ruggie, which, again, sucks. But still, he's a pretty solid budget option. His HP is way higher than Ruggie's, which is nice, although his attack is like half of Ruggie's, which is not as nice. And finally, Ordo. He's attack, he has a Fire Spell 1, Water Shot 2, and Damage Boost. He's the most budgety option you can get. Really, the biggest downside is that his buddy isn't shared with Ruggie. Like, all things considered, he's a good budget option, and he was a free unit, which is very good. This Ruggie is a fantastic unit. He's got the capability of being a mono fire unit, which will make him great for exams. He has Nullify Freeze, which, Well, yeah, I don't know how often you're gonna run into that. It's still a rare skill and it will come in handy at some point. Not to mention he's just really strong. Thank you everyone for watching, and a very special thank you to my channel members and Twitch subs. Your support helps me to continue to make these videos. If you'd like early access to my videos, consider becoming a channel member. Patrons and Ko-fi members can get my scripts early before I record them. I livestream over on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Thanks again guys, and I'll see y'all later.